Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian if you happen to be new around here, and we're going to be talking today about the future of New World. 2025 is continuing to look really positive. The community, based off of the dev update, whether you hung out with me live, the general feedback that I have been getting from most people in the community, we still get our haters and our doomers out there, but the general feeling is the devs have been cooking, and I think that also helps make sense because season 7 has been kind of a real, I guess, lackadaisical. I'm not going to call it a dud. There have been positive things, but obviously from a reception perspective, things have cooled off, numbers have cooled down. That is to all be expected. Season 8 is what's next, and we finally have the official title for that. So I'm going to break it down bullet point by bullet point, give you guys my thoughts, positive, negative, what I'm expecting. Obviously, we're all hoping for daggers out there, and I really hope they deliver on that. I know they were joking about pom-poms, but we're gonna talk about that here in today's video as well. If you guys enjoy this content, that like button is a great way of supporting the channel. Or if you guys feel like I earn your sub, sound off in the comments below. I always love welcoming you guys. Now, Trickster says I didn't earn his sub, but he gave it to me anyway. So thank you guys so much. Sound off in the comments. I love highlighting new subs here at the channel. Let's start with season 8. That's what's coming up next. Season of the Divide. Just like with season 7, they've got 3 of the bullet points are preview items. This isn't necessarily bad, but this doesn't necessarily mean like it is the bulk of the content. So really, when you're seeing preview, we're just looking forward a little bit into season 9 down the road. But here's where things get really cool and what I'm excited about. Obviously, Coral Divide, the OPR map, is getting added, and it's going to be officially a part of that. They're going to ultimately get it into a type of rotation, but it seems like, especially at launch, that's going to be really good. Now, I'm going to jump down to the Seasonal World 2 Hardcore. The thing I really like about this is they're starting the seasonal server later on in the season, so it's not necessarily competing with your main progression character. I think that's a strong move. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with seasonal servers in the long run, namely because I do think there are some values in having servers that have different rule sets, but you need a big community to kind of facilitate that those can be healthy. A long story short, I'm fine with an always on PvP server. I think they should just make that a server and not a seasonal thing. We'll see how that plays out in the long run. Anyway, here's what's crazy. Capture the Flag coming. Other game modes, they are coming as well that they've kind of teased. Capture the Flag map 2 also in preview. And then finally, a new 3v3 arena map is being put into preview. So those are the preview aspects of what's coming. They got a rotating mode called Bare Bones OPR that they're adding in. They're adding in the barber shop, and the only negative I have about that, because obviously the game doesn't have a sub, obviously the barber shop is going to be an additional cost. And when you look at games that even have subs like Final Fantasy 14, they have a barber shop, but I kind of am thinking this more like a Fantasia, in which that they sell you the ability to really change everything about your character. All that being said, it'd be really great if they gave existing players a free token that they can use. That would go a long way, in my opinion. And then ultimately, there's going to be changes down the road. That's just where I fall on that. You can feel free to disagree with me if you want. I don't like that they're charging for the barbershop. I understand why they're charging for the barbershop. I do think that they should give legacy characters, if nothing else, if you have an existing character pre-season 8, you get a barbershop token on your account and you can use it however. Now, what really interests me in both the positive and negative way is Expeditions Unleashed. We're not getting an expedition in season 8. We didn't get one in season 7. That's kind of, in my mind, kind of a miss. Their expeditions have been phenomenal, and I really enjoyed that they've added them in. But Expeditions Unleashed is them taking those expedition bosses and putting them out in the open world. This is something that I'm very excited to see and go hands-on with myself. Also, like they've kind of highlighted combat, PvP updates, artifacts, perks, seasonal events. Those are going to be pretty standard. You're going to see those 2 items listed across every season going forward, but they highlight them here. There's really not much to add in the long run of it, and they're going to continue to add in more build variety and options each and every season, and some are going to be game breaking, some aren't. That I think also really is going to be interesting to see how the Seasonal World 2 Hardcore mode is set up, because the way and how they've described several things in that are very interesting to see. Anyhow, let's shift into the in development. This is from a developer perspective. I look at kind of what is coming perhaps next. However, being that it's in development now, I've as a part of the living roadmap, the first one we got in exploration, I was like, yeah, that's the expansion. Some of these things I think probably are a part of the expansion, and this is again for future things to come that could come as a part of a fall-based expansion, or could come, you know, within the season of the next expansion in and of itself. But focusing on new development, that we have a new zone, new raid, new weapons, raid difficulties, OPR map number 3. So they're not slowing down. They know what people want. People have waited for a new OPR map for a long time. And it's great to see that not only are we getting one now, but there's more to come in the future. They're also adding in new PvP modes. They talked about that as in the dev update. Honestly, really exciting to see. They're changing it up. It's going to be fun to kind of see what really the community, what the community resonates with, and the fact that they're kind of listening, I think is a really good sign. Procedural expedition mode with extraction. This is interesting. I'm very fascinated by what this is going to mean, and we have heard teases of them maybe even adding in a battle royale. I don't know. I think New World is going to be a very interesting game to see how it evolves over the course of the years. Pickup wars is something I'm personally very interested in. Same thing kind of with the invasions. I think those are pieces of content that if they can make it more accessible and open up to more people, that would be really great, where the stakes are much lower so people can practice and train. Endgame precision systems overhaul. I think this is very needed, especially when you look at the New World Aeternum launch. That was for new players. That was really a console focused thing, a new player focused thing, and the veteran players are they need some love. We need some veteran love here. Umbrals V2, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Set bonuses, this was kind of what I alluded to earlier. This is exciting to see, namely because this is just another thing to add to your build. So set bonuses depends on what they end up doing, but then you also have artifacts and so much more. It's going to be crazy. New heart runes that they're adding in. Endgame reputation systems. That's going to be great. Zone up leveling. I'm going to see I really want to see what that kind of feels in, and I would kind of put zone up leveling maybe on season 9. It's going to be neat to see how that comes in. Customizable HUD, global storage, and attribute save with gear set. So you're seeing a huge amount of quality of life also currently in development, and that's just going to make the game more accessible over the long run. Jumping into in exploration, you can see new weapons, plural. Obviously in development, the new weapon, we're all hoping this is for the dagger, but new weapons, ranked PvP, community hall with storage. This is going to be huge. New raids, new zones, invasion mode with difficulties. This is going to be really cool. Hopefully it's something that can be queued up for. I think that's going to be something that no matter how you feel about it, just being able to jump into some content when you feel like it is helpful. New seasonal worlds, that's to be expected, so that they're going to keep pushing on that seasonal worlds. We'll see if that ends up being something that lasts for years and years, or if it ends up being like, well, we tried this, didn't really kind of take off. Gardening and farming. This is something I know a lot of us have been asking for. Another territory system overhaul. I really wish they would put in Final Fantasy XI system, have everything that everybody's doing contribute a point or some kind of points. You can even weigh PvP much heavier than you could do PvE stuff, but everything you should be doing should be adding up to a score for that zone, and then every week it gets calculated, and then you can see who owns the zone in some form of fashion. I love that asynchronous kind of stuff, and I'd love to see them do that here, but we'll have to wait and see. New exploration and collection systems. This is going to be neat to see what they really truly mean by that. Influence tower claim siege system with building. That's going to be really interesting. Zone up levels again. Account-wide progression. This is something that I interpret as cross progression, meaning whether you're on a console or PC, your characters are your characters and you're able to play. All instance content made available in matchmaking. Yay! And new travel mechanics. People are speculating this might mean flying mounts. I do think flying would take a lot away from some of the exploration in the game, but I'd love to know how you guys feel about it in the grand scheme of things. All in all, this is them cooking. I think the game's going to continue to improve. I think the game will continue to get both its, pros and cons, its detractors and more. I think the devs will continue to make mistakes, but also at the same time, I think there's a lot to be had here. One thing that was missing is we didn't see Scott in the developer update. And we do know that obviously their focus has been, their priority also is with the Lord of the Rings MMORPG that this same team is kind of working on. So I think a lot of this, and the reason why I'm positive about both, is that they're going to be able to do a lot of things in this game, figure out what kind of works, and be able to provide that feedback to the Lord of the Rings side of things. When you look at instance content, account-wide progression, you know, all of those things, it's like, hey, we need to make sure that when we launch, we have all of this in place. These are what people want. This is what the expectation is. Long short of it, we've got a lot to love about MMOs here in 2025. Like I said, I'm going to be jumping into kind of getting caught up on what's been going on with the Dune MMO. I think that's going to be interesting to kind of gather and see what's happening in that aspect. So look forward to that here on the channel. I know I've actually seen a little bit of positive talk about Ashes of Creation, and hopefully we'll get some content out on that game alongside. Like there's been some games that I've been having fun with. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, I haven't been able to play much of it. And I think one of the things that we look at the state of MMOs in 2025 is it's clear that it's fine to have hardcore, but hardcore MMO mindset versus the casual mindset, you got to figure out that balance to make it easy and accessible. But that does take the charm away from the hardcore. So I am I am not envious of the pressure and the difficulty of everything that it takes to make these games come to life. And honestly, I think it's going to be really cool to see how this genre evolves over the next 10 years. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I always like to end off with just a little bit of a message of hope, meaning for those of you who are out there struggling, you're not alone. I think that's the most important thing that I always want to highlight. I'm going to focus in on kind of two aspects: rest and, you know, taking action, taking charge. I don't know if anybody's out there been depressed. Depression sucks. And if you've never had it, man, awesome. I hope you never get it. But for those of you who do, sometimes it feels like you can't even get out of bed. And this in and of itself can be such a difficult. I'm going to give you guys some tips that work for me, and hopefully they work for you. And then I'll let you guys crush it because I know you can, and I want you to believe in yourself. But first things first is that whenever I find myself like unable to really like pull myself out of bed or do something like that because I'm depressed, obviously, I find that setting small, very achievable goals helps actually motivate that. So you get that kind of dopamine and that endorphin kind of hit by accomplishing something. So don't make things impossible. That's one of the things that kind of gets us analysis paralysis is a good term to put to it. Meaning, like for me, it's make my bed, take a shower, brush my teeth. Like those are the three things that really kind of help motivate the rest of my day and move me into a positive direction. So those are three things, but it doesn't even have to be that difficult. It could be wiggle your toes, open your eyes, take a breath. Like find some things that you can set as like, I'm going to do this, do the thing, and let that kind of tick a point up. And until you can kind of really get yourself moving and rocking and rolling, there you go. Now, I say that because rest is also important, but rest and depression are not the same thing. And I know that, speaking of myself, taking the entire Lent off from video game news and gaming and all that was so good. It was so valuable. I'm so excited about everything that's going on in gaming right now. Oblivion Remake, I refuse to call it a remaster, is out. I was able to play a little bit of it yesterday. Really, really fun. We've got so many good things. Expedition 33 dropping tomorrow. Then you also have the No Rest for the Wicked stuff next week. It's a great time to be a gamer, and there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of drama, and that's a part of social media. But I just want to encourage you guys, out there to really kind of grab a hold of your life and own it. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with this message of hope. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.